Good morning, everyone. Yes, students. Now, today we will discuss how judges of Supreme Court and judges of High Court are appointed, and which is the authority which appoints them, and what is the procedure, and what is the law. Now, with this, you simply hear me. Firstly, understand that. Then I will dictate later on. Now, with regard to appointment of judges of High Court, judges of Supreme Court, a new word has been introduced, collegium. Now, collegium word is not available in the Constitution anywhere with regard to appointment of judges. Now, today we will see that how Honorable Supreme Court has interpreted Article 124 to introduce a new institution, collegium. Because otherwise, who appoints the judges? It is the president. Because president, he is competent under Article 124 to appoint the judges of High Court, judges of Supreme Court, and Chief Justice of India. And he does this after consulting some judges of Supreme Court, some judges of High Court, or Chief Justice of India also. Now, thus, it is his prerogative. It is his discretion whether he wants to consult Supreme Court judge or he wants to consult High Court judge. But if Chief Justice is to be appointed, then he may consult any judge of Supreme Court or High Court. But if he is appointing somebody else, judges of Supreme Court, judges of High Court, then he must consult CJI. Now, question arises whether the opinion expressed by the Supreme Court judge is binding on the president. The answer will be, it is not binding. As per provisions, I'm talking about as per provisions, 124 article, it makes it clear that it is the president who will appoint judges of Supreme Court, judges of High Court, and Chief Justice of Supreme Court and Chief Justice of High Courts. Now, with this, let me throw some light on this article. Firstly, let us see this article. Particularly, we will point to this clause 2. Let me read that. Every judge of the Supreme Court shall be appointed by the president by warrant under his hand. Warrant means simple authority letter, we can say, under his hand and seal after consultation with such of the judges of Supreme Court and of High Courts in the states as the president may deem necessary. It means he has been given full authority. He may discuss with any judge for the purpose and shall hold office until he attains the age of 65 years. Now, this proviso is very important, provided that in the case of appointment of a judge other than the CJI, then CJI must be consulted, always consulted. Now, the question arises here, whether president is the full authority to appoint or whether Supreme Court is having any say in appointment of that. You may not look into any book, close the book, then only you will be able to understand. Otherwise, your attention will be diverted. Close your books. Don't write anything. Understand that, first of all. At one point of time, what happened? Now, it was in firstly 1973. What happened? there were 4 judges. And junior most judge, he was appointed as CJI. Now it was A.N. Ray. He was appointed as CJI. Indira Gandhi was the prime minister at that time. Now this A.N. Ray, he was appointed as CJI, and these 3 persons, J.M. Shallot, K.S. Hegde, A.N. Grover, 3 judges of Supreme Court who were senior to this A.N. Ray. Now they were ignored. Now when this A.N. Ray started functioning as Chief Justice of India, how juniors can work under him? Now this, they will say, no, all these persons will say that A.N. Ray is junior to them and they are not able to work. No doubt they have filed a writ, but ultimately within a short period, they have given their resignation on the ground that they are being humiliated because they have become the subordinate of this junior most judge. Now this matter was discussed by advocates also, judges also. But second time, let us see what happened second time. In 1977 also, there were 2 judges. H.R. Khanna, he was senior most. He was to be appointed as Chief Justice of India. But he was superseded by appointing this M.H. Baig. Now, this thing has created doubt in the minds of the advocates and general public also, that what executive is doing, what president is doing. Now they can appoint their favorite judges, and that will be direct attack on the independence of the judiciary. Now with this regard, a controversy had risen before Honorable Supreme Court in a judgment, S.P. Gupta versus Union of India in 1982. There were 7 judges. Now, in this case, this question had arisen that president should not be allowed to appoint anybody. Rather, it is the Supreme Court. Supreme Court should take these things in its hand if they want to maintain the independence of judiciary. But in this case, 7 judges together, they have decided that no, judiciary should not intervene because executive, it is all the MPs, all the ministers, they are duly elected by the people, and they are carrying the will of the people. Therefore, will of the people should prevail upon appointments. Now, on this ground, Honorable Supreme Court clearly laid down that it is not the Supreme Court which should prevail upon the executive. Because at that time, Article 124, Clause 2, as it is, was there. And they are following this, that it is the president. Let him consult anybody. Let him consult Chief Justice of India. Therefore, the judiciary should not intervene. Will of the people must prevail because they are elected by the people. Let them decide who should be the CJI and who should be the judge of Supreme Court, who should be the judge of High Court. Now this case, no doubt case was decided, but advocates were not satisfied. They were saying that in this manner, it is the executive which is prevailing, and they are appointing their favorites. Now, favorable judges are appointed who are deciding in their favor. Now, second case, it was Supreme Court Advocates on Records Association. Supreme Court's association came forward against the Union of India in 1994. Now, 9 judges were there in this case. And the Supreme Court again discussed this controversy. What is the controversy? Whether Supreme Court should prevail or executive president should prevail. Now, this was the tussle in between government and the judiciary, we can say. Now, the advocates, they fought the case very vigorously, and they have submitted various circumstances that this should not be done. A junior most judge should not be placed in the as a CJI, and senior most members, they should not be made subordinate to that junior officer. Now, in this case, Honorable Supreme Court has laid down. Ultimately, it has changed its view, which expressed earlier in 1982. Now, in the second case, the Honorable Supreme Court laid down that it is the Supreme Court which should prevail. Now, in this case, it was the first time when this word collegium came into existence. Now, they have framed there that there should be one CJI plus 2 senior-most judges. They will constitute collegium, and this collegium will decide who should be appointed as judge of High Court, who should be appointed as judge of Supreme Court, and who should be appointed as CJI of Supreme Court or CJI of High Court. Now, here they have created a new institution, but with the 3 members only. And they have also laid down that in every High Court also, there should be such collegium with Chief Justice plus 2 senior-most judges for the purpose of recommending the names of High Court judges. Now then, certainly, executive was affected, president was affected, political parties were affected, that they have been deprived of this biggest power. Now, the president made a reference to the Supreme Court. Okay, look here, you have given this judgment. This judgment is not according to the norms of our democracy, because the will of president must prevail here. Now, in this third case, in presidential reference in 1999, the Supreme Court discussed in detail the same issue. And in this case, they have thrashed out it, that it is the collegium only which will decide who should be the Chief Justice of India, who should be the judge of High Court or judge of Supreme Court. Now, they have laid down that collegium will recommend to the president. President may express his opinion. He may return the names with his opinion. But in case the Supreme Court collegium sends the same again, then the president will be bound to put his signatures on that recommendation, and he must appoint those persons who have been recommended by the collegium. Now, in this case, what happened? They have increased the numbers of collegium. Now, they have laid down that Chief Justice of India will be head of that collegium, and there will be 4 other senior-most judges. Now, it means 5 judges were there in collegium as per this authority. Now, 5 judges used to decide who should be appointed as judge of the High Court, who should be appointed as judge of Supreme Court, and who should be appointed to be the CJI. Now, they have laid down that whenever collegium conducts its meeting, the CJI who is to be elevated next, he must be there. He must be present in that every meeting. because he is the next CJI. Now, no doubt, they have also laid down that High Court judges will be appointed, will be elevated to the Supreme Court only on the basis of merits. Therefore, Supreme Court was having its prerogative to ignore any judge of High Court for the purpose of elevating to Supreme Court. Now, this could not be tolerated by executive again. Now, executive, they were in search of some method that how we should contain, how we should control the powers of this collegium. Now, what happened? This Modi government, now the parliament has passed, it has amended this Article 124, and new institution, National Judicial Appointment Commission, was created, and they laid down that there will not be any collegium. They have abolished the collegium, and they have created this institution, National Judicial Appointment Commission, and it was laid down that there will be 6 members. No doubt, they have kept the CJI as chairman and 2 senior-most judges also in this National Judicial Commission. Then, but what was the thing which was disturbing all the advocates, all the judges? They have inducted Minister of Law and Justice in this as a member. And they have also inducted 2 eminent persons to be appointed by a committee comprising of Prime Minister, leader of the opposition member, and CJI. Now, in other words, executive always wanted to participate in the appointment of judges. Now, here they have innovated a new method for intervening the independence of judiciary. Now, through this, they have laid down that this National Judicial Appointment Commission will be the only authority which will appoint judges of High Court, judges of Supreme Court, and Chief Justice of India. Now, this was made in the 99th Amendment of our Constitution. Now, Article 124 was changed, and they have introduced this new concept. But this was again challenged. Let us see, there is another authority. It is Supreme Court Advocate on Record Association versus Union of India, AIR 2016. Now, this case was decided by 5 judges on 16th October 2015. Now, they have here struck down the entire 99th Amendment, and they have struck down this institution, National Judicial Appointment Commission. Now, they have laid down that it is the collegium of the Supreme Court, only the will of which should prevail upon president. No doubt, president may stall that proceeding for a while for returning the name. Now, here I will quote some instance that what happened in one case. In some state, the BJP has imposed president law, president rule, and that president rule was challenged. Now, it was Uttarakhand. Was it Uttarakhand or it was? Now, in Uttarakhand, the president rule was challenged before the High Court. Now, in that High Court, one KM Joseph, I will write on the board so that you may K.M. Joseph. He was the Chief Justice of that High Court. Now he decided that this government has passed this order imposing president rule in Uttarakhand is absolutely wrong. It is illegal. And this person restored the earlier government of Congress there in the state. And simultaneously, Supreme Court recommended his name for elevating him to the Supreme Court. And with this, another lady was there, Indu Malhotra. Supreme Court Collegium recommended these two names for becoming judges of Supreme Court because they were having good record. They were having meritorious record. And government, it has exercised its power. It has appointed Indu Malhotra as judge of the Supreme Court, but it has ignored K.M. Joseph. And they have written to the collegium that you please see, look into that, whether he is eligible for that, because there are many candidates who are senior to him, and there are many other candidates who are belonging to scheduled caste, scheduled tribe. You must give opportunity to them. Now it means the government, it was having, you can well imagine, it will come to your mind that to what extent the government was having a grudge against this person, because he is the person who had struck down the order of the that BJP government. Now, in this case, they returned the case with the comments that you look into that. He is not eligible for appointment. Now, Collegium of Supreme Court again decided to recommend his name. No doubt they have kept this pending for 10 or 20 days, but they were bound to put their signatures on that because it is a collegium which is the final authority to decide. No doubt president can return the case for rehearing, but he cannot say that he doesn't agree to the appointment. Now, this was the history of this National Judicial Appointment Commission. And these cases are now SP Gupta's case, Supreme Court advocate, and these. Now, these three cases are known. Three judges cases, very, very familiar cases. Three judges cases. Now, at present, the same collegium is available, is functioning in Supreme Court, and a collegium in High Court is also there with the three judges only. Now, this is the position with regard to appointment of